Out on the top of Daf Tes Vav, third line from the top. U'meilchei v'noisnei al gabei ha'ishim.
Yeah.
Is that the sound of somebody coming on?
No, that was me.
Okay. U'meilchei v'noisnei al gabei ha'ishim. He salts it. A good chedesh Reb Gershon. A good chedesh.
Yeah, I'm good.
U'meilchei v'noisnei al gabei ha'ishim. Third line from the top. You salt the mincha and you place it on top of the fire. Chsiv, as it's the fire of the mizbeach. Chsiv, as it says, why do you have to salt it? Because it says in the pasuk, "V'chol karban minchascha v'melach timlach." So every carbon mincha has to be salted. Karav hakemetz shiran echalim said in the Braisa that after the kemetz is offered, the remainders can be eaten by the kain. Minalon nichsiv v'hikter hakenes askarasa. The kain should be maktir, the part which is the askara, that's the kemetz. Ksiv, and it says further, "V'ani says min mincha la'aron u'levanav," that whatever is left over from the mincha is for Aaron and his children. Karav hakemetz. What is exactly the meaning of karav hakemetz? How much does it have to have been burnt on the fire of the mizbeach in order for the kain to be allowed to eat the remainders? Lamarke de islay, lamarke de islay. According to each shita, the definition of karav hakemetz has to be adjusted according to each shita. The itmar we learned in a memre hakemetz meima seimat shirayim b'achila. From what point onward is it okay to eat the leftovers of the mincha? What point of the burning of the consumption of the kemetz is matter the leftovers to be eaten? The Chanina says once the fire catches on it, once the fire gets hold of it. Once the fire has the majority. So the Braisa says karav hakemetz, and what karav hakemetz means is left up to interpretation. According to the Chanina, it would mean mishatishul b'ha'or, and according to Yechon, it would mean mishatitzus ha'erberubah. The kain are allowed to put into the mincha wine or oil or honey. My time, what's the reason why they can add these additives to it? Amar kra l'mashcha. But the pasuk says that the kain will eat it l'mashcha, which l'mashcha means l'gdula. In the way that kings eat, and since kings eat with yain, shemen, and dvash, so from there we see that it's okay for the kainim to add yain, shemen, and dvash to the mincha. Ein asurim elam el chametz. The only thing they're not allowed to do is make it chametz. Chsiv, as it says, leisei afe chametz chelkam. Their portion, pasuk is leisei afe chametz chelkam nasati l'chamei yishai. But Chazal learn up that the chelkam also goes back to leisei afe chametz. That leisei afe chametz chelkam, that even their portion cannot be made into chametz. Not only the part that's offered on the mizbeach can't be made into chametz. You're not allowed to be makriv chametz on the mizbeach. But even the portion, the remainder, the leftovers of the mincha that the kainim eat, that when they bake it, they're not allowed to bake it in chametz. Amar Reb Shimon ben Lakish, Reb Shimon ben Lakish. Sorry, we did that already. I say Avetz Chametz Chalkom. Amar Reb Shimon ben Lakish, Bil Chalkom, I say Avetz Chametz. Kol HaMenachos Chulu. Further in the Braisa, the dinim that apply to all menachos, and how mincha seita is different from them. So the Gemara says, "V'chol HaMenachos to unis shemen u'levaina." Is that the case that every mincha needs oil and levaina? Isn't there the mincha v'chayte? In other words, a carbon elevated, where the Torah gives the option if he can't afford an animal for a chatas, he can bring a bird, and if he can't afford a bird, he can bring a mincha. So but over there it says la yasim ala levaina, yasim ala shaman leitna ala levaina. So minchas chayte doesn't have any shaman ala levaina. How can the Braisa say kol hamenachas tunis shaman ala levaina? Says the Gemara Hachikamar. This is what he means to say. Generally, all menachas need shemen olevaina, bois menachitin, and they come from wheat, bois soilus, they come from fine flour. Minchas chayte afal bisha ena tu'una shemen olevaina. The mincha of a sinner, even though it doesn't need shemen olevaina, bois menachitin, it comes from wheat, bois soilus, and it comes from fine flour. Minchas ha'emer. The mincha of the emer afal bisha ba menasa'erim, although it comes from barley, tu'una shemen olevaina, but it still needs oil and levaina. Uba getis, and it comes from the finer flour of the barley. But this mincha v'saita is all the way down bottom grade. It doesn't need shemen, it doesn't need levaina. It comes from barley, and it comes from ordinary flour of barley, not from geres as the Omer. Tanya Amar Reb Shimon. Learned that Reb Shimon said, in essence, it would make sense, logically, minchas chayte should need shemen u'levaina. Why should it need shemen u'levaina? Shalei chayte nisker. That the sinner should not be winning out, because it's cheaper. But if with no shemen and no levaina, it's less expensive. So the sinner is gaining. So why does the Torah say that a minchas chayte should not need shemen u'levaina? Shalei karbonei mehuder, that the carbon should not be beautified. Chatas chaylev is a regular chatas that you bring for doing an aveda, which b'mezid you would be chayiv kares. B'shegig you bring a chatas. So this chatas chaylev really should need nesachim. You should need to pour wine together with it, as you have by many other karbanos. Because if you don't pour wine with it, it's cheaper, and the sinner who has to bring the carbon chatas ends up gaining. It costs him less. So why does it not need any nesachim? Same reason, since it's a carbon chatas, it's brought for a sin, so the carbon should not be extra beauty. But the chatas that a matzayra brings this week sedre, and the asham that a matzayra brings to unim nesachim, they do need nesachim. Because they don't come, they're not brought for a sin. So when you bring a chatas chaylev, which is brought to be a chaper and aveda, it's not allowed to have nesachim, like a karbanim mehuder. Or a chatas metzayra and a asha metzayra, which are for that, but there you do need nesachim. Practic Gemara inni, is that the case that a chatas metzayra and a asha metzayra is not brought for a chet? Amar Reb Shmuel bar Nachmani, Amar Reb Yonasan, didn't Reb Shmuel bar Nachmani say in the name of Reb Yonasan, Ashisha dvarim negayim boim v'chulu, that negayim tzaras comes as a punishment for 6 different things. So it does come as for a sin. And why are you saying that chatas metzayra and asham metzayra doesn't come l'chapar, doesn't come alachet? It does come for.
Hello, can't hear you.
To be who the kamaisis, what he brings. Sorry, somebody asked something. Elameato, practic Gemara. If that's the case, it's not the for the aveda, because that was already dealt with by the tzaras, and the whole purpose of bringing the chatas v'asham is only to be matter him b'kodshim. So chatas nazir tehetun and nesachim ebazei. A chatas nazir should also need nesachim l'vishein abal chet. A chatas nazir also doesn't come for a sin. And for the Gemara, our like an abelazar akapar. We hold like Elazar Akapar, this brayse which said that the chatas chaylev does not need nesachim b'kshlei karbanim mehuder. Mashenk and the other chatos do holds like Elazar Akapar. The Amar Nazir nami chaytehu, who says that a Nazir is also a sinner because the etzem inyan that he refraining from things that the Torah was matter him is a chay. Now she says, Nazir Chaytehu should see it out. He unnecessarily caused himself tsar by refraining from wine. Ram Gamliel says, just like her maisim were maisim behema, her carbon is carbon behema. Tanya Amar Ram Gamliel Chachamim. We learned in Rabbi Isa, Ram Gamliel said to the Chachamim, Seifrim hanichu li v'adrashanakim min chaymer. Give me permission, and I will explain this like a beautiful piece of jewelry. Rashi says that it's a golden button that is used to connect the two ends of the two parts of the neck of a shirt, and it makes it's for decoration. That's what a chaymer is. So Rav Gamliel says, I will explain this like a chaymer. Shamila Meir. The Ka'amar, we heard the mayor say, he chalatem adane elam, because she served the boil delicacies, adane elam, leficha karbana meichel behema. Therefore, her carbon is just the opposite, animal feed. Amar leis is had to him aticha hatina chashira. That's good if she was a wealthy woman. There's a wealthy woman, she fed the boil, but if she was a poor woman and she was mizana, she obviously didn't have the ability to feed the boil. Why should she have to bring Michael Behema? Rather, as we said before, just like her actions are Maisa Behema, so her carbon is Michael Behema. We're ready to go on to the Mishnah. Maybe Pili Shel Cheres, so he would bring a cup of earthenware cup, and put into this earthenware cup a half a leg of water from the kier. Rabbi Yehuda says you don't have to have a half a leg, a quarter of a leg is enough. Just like we'll see later that Rabbi Yehuda holds that there's less, you write less of the parsha. So he also says you need less water. So the kohen goes into the heichel. He makes a right turn. As you walk into the heichel and you turn right, there's a place over there that's an amma by an amma, where there's a marble slab, marble tile like the tabas, and there was a ring on it, so you could lift it off the ground. Shumagdiya, which you can lift the natal offer mitachtea and take earth from underneath this tile, this slab, this stone. The nice and kadesh yera elamayim, you put in enough earth into the water that it should become visible in the water. Shanamar, as it says in the pasuk, min ha'ofar ashiyeh b'karka mishkan, from the earth which is in the ground of the mishkan, yikach hakayin v'nasna elamayim, the kayin should take and place it into the water. Rashi says, since it doesn't say v'nasam b'mayim, but it says v'nasam el hamayim, mashma that it should not become swallowed up in the water. It shouldn't disappear in the water. It should be enough that it should be noticeable after it's put into the water that there is afar in the water. Says the Gemara. Panda, we learned in a Braisa. Pili shel cheres chadasha. This earthenware cup that you use to put in the water from the kier should be new. Divrei Rabbi Shmuel, this is the opinion of Rabbi Shmuel. My time is Rabbi Shmuel. Why does Rabbi Shmuel hold it should be a new vessel? Gamar kela mitzayra. He has a gzeira shava kela from mitzayra. Mala halon cheres chadasha. Afkan cheres chadasha. So just like by mitzayra it has to be new earthenware, so over here also by seita it has to be a new earthenware cup. And how do we know by mitzayra that it has to be a new cup? Because it says he should shecht one of the birds into an earthenware vessel over the living waters. So just like mayim chayim, no work was ever done with them. So the earthenware vessel also has to be similar to the mayim chayim, and no work was ever done with them, which means it has to be new. So over there it's new. So we learn from the Gzeira Shabbat that over here it also has to be new. If you have a Gzeira Shabbat that compares the two, so if that's the case, by mitzayra it has to be well water, spring water, mayim chayim. So maybe over here it should also be spring water. According to Rabbi Shmuel, the taka has to be spring water. Amar Rabbi Yechanan, because Rabbi Yechanan said, make here the waters of the kier. Where do they come from? The waters of the kier. Rabbi Shmuel says they're well water, they're spring water. Some say it comes from ordinary water. So according to Rabbi Shmuel, it works taka, just like the kli cheres. Rabbi Shmuel is the one who said this limud. Pilu shel cheres chadasha divrei Rabbi Shmuel, because we have a gzeira shava kli klim in mitzayra. Next akasha, if we learn from mitzayra that it has to be a kli chadash, kli cheres chadasha, and we should learn from us to mitzayra, we should learn from mitzayra that it has to be mayim chayim, just like it has to be mayim chayim by mitzayra, it has to be mayim chayim as well over here. Says the Gemara, you're talking according to Rabbi Shmuel. According to Rabbi Shmuel, tak has to be mayim chayim, because Rabbi Shmuel holds that the waters of the kier are mayim chayim. Says the Gemara, you could slug up this gzeira shava. How could you slug it up? This limud that you had from mitzayra, you could slug up. How could you compare it to mitzayra? Mitzayra is a lot more chamor. Mitzayra needs eitz erev v'ezev las. You don't find this by seita. So just like a mitzayra needs an eitz erev v'ezev las and a seita doesn't, so it makes sense to say that by mitzayra we need a kli cheres chadasha, but by seita you don't. Amar Rabbi said, Amar Kra b'kli cheres. Kli shamarti l'chakvar. The pasuk says b'kli cheres means the known kli cheres, the one that we already had before. That refers to the same type of klicheres as by mitzvah has to be chadasha. So it's not because of exeter shava, it's not because of the limud from kli from mitzvah, but because it says b'kli cheres kli shamarti l'chakra. Amar Rava. Lo yishanu. That which our Mishnah, maybe pili shel cheres, doesn't say that it needs to be chadasha, because our Mishnah does not hold with like Rabbi Shmuel, and Mamela our Mishnah holds that the kli cheres does not have to be chadasha. Nevertheless, that only applies if it hasn't completely turned black through the fire that it was used on. But once it becomes completely black, psulin it becomes puzzle, even according to our Mishnah. My time, what's the reason? Because the kli cheres has to be similar to the mayim. Just like water has to look like water and not to have changed. The keli also has to have the look of the healthy keli, not have been completely changed, black. We learned that a kli cheres doesn't have to be new, but it cannot be completely blackened. What happened if it became blackened and you put it back into the furnace and it became white again? Now, what's the thing? Do we say once it's been rejected because it was black, it remains rejected, it's not going to help to put it back into the furnace? By Dilma, should we say, keeping the hadr, since it's back to being white again, it's back to being a healthy looking kli cheres, it's good. Tashma, come in here, I'll answer your shaila. Elazar says, it says in the Braise, eitz eres ve'eze v'shnitelas, she'ifshul ben kupase la'acherav, v'sulin. And an eitz eres, so what happens if you use the eitz eres or the eze v'shnitelas, you used it as like a stick that you hold over your shoulder and you have a bucket hanging from it? It's possible. Now, l'chayda over there, once you finished using it, it can straighten out again. And nevertheless, we said that once you used it, the hafshel kubase la'chaydav, it's possible. So with chayda, we can bring an ayah from there, that given the itchu. Once it's rejected, it's rejected. It doesn't help to fix it. As the Gemara, there's no ayah. Hasam the iklufa over there, where your mafshel kubase la'chaydav, you used it as a stick to hang a bucket on, and you carried the bucket like that. So the eitz eres could be that it was peeled, that the bark was peeled off as a result of that. Once the bark is peeled off, it can't be fixed. If the only problem is that it bent, and you can bend it back, that taka wouldn't be a problem, and therefore the same thing would apply over here, that if the kli cheres turned black, and you put it back into the furnace, and you made it white again, it's very possible that that's not a problem either. When you turn into the heichal, you make a right turn. High timer, why do you have to dafka make a right turn? Marmar, Kalpinas, Shatapena, Yuhel Derech Yamin. Says Bechlam, Besamigdash, general, when you make a turn, you should turn to the right. Makam Hayasham Amachul, there was a place in the Heichel, there was an Amma by an Amma with a stone slab, which you could lift up with the ring, and they lift that up, and underneath there would be the earth that they would take to mix with the water, and that's the way they made the Mesay. It says in the pasuk, from the earth that is there, that will be there. So you might think, as long as the earth is there, it doesn't matter where it came from, you can prepare it outside, bring it in, put it down the karka mishkan, and just bring it into the heichal. Take it into the heichal, and you take it out of the heichal. So the pasuk says, no, it has to be in the earth of the Mishkan. It's not enough just to bring it in and take it back out. It has to be from the earth of the Mishkan. Even karka mishkan, if it says bekarka mishkan, yochel yachber bekardumes, maybe I'd have to bring a shovel and dig into the karka of the Mishkan. Which is present there. Okay, so what does that mean? Yesham Halvei, if there is earth over there in the Karka Mishkan that you can use for this purpose and bring that earth, Ein Sham, if there's nothing there, you don't have to go dig for it. Pen Sham, you can bring from the outside and you can put it down, but you have to put it down in the earth, you have to put it down on the ground of the Mishkan, and from there you can remove it. Tanya idach, we learned in another brayse, when ha'afar ashiyeh v'geimer, it says, when ha'afar ashiyeh, melamed shayim esakin b'bachutz, u'machnis. And you can prepare it on the outside and bring it in. Isi ben Yehuda Eimer. So this brayse which says melamed sheyem esakin b'bachutz u'machnis understands that you can bring it in from the outside, not like we said before that from Bekarka Mishkan we learn that you can't be misakin b'bachutz u'machnis. At least you have to put it on the earth of the Mishkan. Isi ben Yehuda Eimer. Isi ben Yehuda says lahavi. So the words Bekarka Mishkan, Isi ben Yehuda learns from them lahavi karka shiloi b'nei given a beis elam. And it comes to include not only you have a karka hamishkan in the midbar, but the karka of the Mishkan Shiloi, as well as noiv givain after the destruction of Shiloi. For 52 years, the main mizbeach was in noiv and givain, and the beis elamim and the beis hamikdash. So the pasuk the karka hamishkan comes to be moisif, that not only can you use the karka of the Mishkan that was in the midbar, but also the Mishkan Shiloi, the Mishkan Noiv given, and the Mishkan of and the Beis Hamikdash. Isi ben Menachem says you don't need a limud that the other Mishkanis in the Beis Hamikdash are also included in this Ashiyeh Bekarka Mishkan. It's obvious. Why is it obvious? Like chalak hakasuv. When it comes to regular tumah, for a person to go into the Mishkan or the Beis Hamikdash when he's tummy, regular tumah. The Torah doesn't differentiate between the Mishkan and the Beis Hamikdash, just like you're not allowed to go into the Mishkan when you're tummy, you're not allowed to go into the Beis Hamikdash when you're tummy, and vice versa. Tumah seishes ish chamura. So when it comes to the tumah of an eishes ish, which is more severe, like kol shekain, and surely there's no difference between the Mishkan and the Beis Hamikdash. We don't need a pasuk the karka hamishkan, the havi karka shiloi. The noiv given a Beis Elamim, it's a given, it's an obvious one. If that's the case, according to Yisib and Menachem, what do we learn from the words Bekarka Mishkan? And he shouldn't bring just from a bucket and bring it into the Heichal. You have to take it from the Karka of the Mishkan. If there's nothing in the Karka of the Mishkan, bring in from outside and put it down in the Karka of the Mishkan, and then take it from the Karka, so you can be Makayim Ashayiyeh as well as Bekarka, as the previous Braisa said. This concludes our blot. Wish everybody a good Chodesh and a wonderful Shabbos. The Eibusher will helfen as we're in the last choice of Chodesh Nisan. Nisan Nigalu and Nisan Nasidin Higoel. The Praven Shabbos for Chodesh zusammen. It says in the pasuk in this week's Hafeirim, Hayim B'dei Chodesh B'Chodsh, B'dei Shabbos V'Shabbat Yovei Kol Basar. As Chodesh and Shabbos, especially Shabbos and Chodesh comes together, all the Kuman Beis Hamikdash, and the Tanzen Mishim zusammen, the Beis Hamikdash.